Well, let's check in with Todd Bubba Horowitz with Bubba Trading as he joins us now to talk about these markets. And oh boy, Todd, Wednesday could be a volatile, wild day, but nonetheless, it's going to be just a blip on the radar of the whole year. So what are you going to be watching for? How do you prepare for something like this?
Well, John, good morning. You know, I think one of the things that we all tend to make a mistake on is, the markets kind of know what's going to be coming out. And the price action going into Wednesday and through Wednesday morning will show us what they believe the report should be. And I think they're pretty accurate. You know, this is not 40 years ago when information didn't flow very quickly. I mean, now information flows so fast. If you understand how to track these things, you can actually put the report together ahead of time. So I don't really do anything special for the report itself because, to me, the farmers and producers already know kind of what they're doing individually, and then they can kind of look around and see what's going on. So to me, right now we look very bullish, corn and beans, and still pretty negative on the wheat.
Really negative on the wheat. That's interesting. You know, we've pulled a little bit off of this wheat market here over the last week and a half so far, but the conditions out in the plains are starting to improve. In fact, I was home over the weekend, Todd, and the wheat looked pretty decent.
Listen, John, I think what happens is you get into these little bit of price action moves, and you get a couple of funds that try to push hard and try to break them down. Of course, I just follow the price action, so it has to make me slightly negative. Personally, I like to be an owner, but again, I have to continue to use the models that I use for trading. But I do think we have a great opportunity for a very big run throughout the summer and through the end of the year. So I'm looking for much higher prices overall, but any intermediate period could be slightly negative.
All right, well, let's go to those futures provided by Bar Chart here and see where things are trending at right now. We've got the May corn contract down 7.5 cents at 5.45, leaving us 2 3/4 cents off of the bottom. December's down 5 3/4 at 4.60 3/4. And by the way, that is the bottom end of the trading range. Over in the soybean market right now, May is down 6.5 at 13.94. July is down 5, but you go out to that new crop November, it's down only 1/2 at 12.06 Chicago wheat for July down 2 pennies at 6.07 1/4, about 5 cents off of the low. Kansas City July wheat down 6. It's at 5.68 1/2, leaving it about 4 pennies off of the low. Minneapolis July wheat down 4 now at 6.19 1/4. That cotton market on the May contract's down 19 at 80.19 now, and the December's down 27 at 78.47. But by the way, that was higher earlier. We're going to go ahead and take a break now because when we come back, we're going to visit with Todd about the livestock trade, and we're also going to get into the financial market. I got questions to ask you about that because it does kind of influence the livestock market. That's straight ahead here on the Market Day Report. From time to time, the financial markets do affect these livestock markets. So first, let's look at the livestock market here today. In our futures provided by Bar Chart, we've got the April live cattle at 120.90. That is up 80 cents, but that is off of our earlier high of 121.57. June up 135, and the August up 90. We have backed off just a fraction here on some of these contracts because last time we checked, all front 5 of those contracts were over $1 higher. We've backed off a little bit in the feeder cattle market also. April now up 225 at 147.37. The May up 272, and the August is up 145. The hogs today are a little bit weaker, but not a whole lot. April down 47 at $100.32. May down 20, and the June down 22. But I do want to look at the Dow. It's down 107 points at 32,847. Back over here to Todd Horowitz at Bubba Trading. Todd, that was quite a move on Friday. Those kind of moves, what does that do sometimes for the protein complex when we see a wild gyration like that?
Well, I think those moves may or may not have a direct effect, especially at the time of day that they happen. But typically, when you see a stronger equity market, you will see a stronger meat price. It means that more people are participating and typically making more money, or at least the retirement funds are growing. But I think Friday you saw some very unusual activity. I think there was a forced out liquidation and have to put into a new position, which created a monster rally late in the day on Friday, like within the last 20 minutes, forcing the Dow and the S&P to make new closing highs, not all-time highs, but new closing highs. And that will happen, especially in these markets that are driven by the cheap money, as we call it, because the big firms will take big flyers here and put on big positions on borrowed money. And if that note gets called or there's a problem, they're going to be forced to rotate out or do something different. I think that's what we saw. But overall, the markets will act independently, but a stronger equity market will never hurt a strong meat market or protein complex.
Okay, and that's exactly where I was going with this also. Does that event that happened long-term affect this money market?
Well, I think the long-term effect of the meats, I think we're going a lot higher. I mean, we've been goofing around here in this consolidation range for quite a while, and this looks as very much as I've said, I don't know, for 6 or 7 weeks now, that it looks like the grains did before they popped. And I think the equity markets are probably running into a little bit of trouble here. I think that, we've got the quarter end coming this week, which usually will create some window dressing. But I think that overall, the meats look great. Equities, not so much at the moment.
Interesting. All right, Todd. Well, listen, always appreciate your input and your time. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you again on Wednesday, and we're looking forward to it. Todd Horowitz with Bubba Trading joining us. Let's go see what's going on in the cutouts here at midday from USDA. And this is the most recent information. This just came down. Choice beef up $1.70 at $239.36. The selects up $2.96 at $230.73. The pork cutouts, well, they were all mostly higher with the exception of the loins. We'll get started over here with the carcasses first. They were up $3.95. That loin market, though, was down $3.43. The hams up $13.41, and the bellies up $6.11. Back to you, Christina.